two important announcements. Pavel, tell me, do you smoke?
Well, that's embarrassing, but I used to.
Oh yeah, look how he smokes.
Yeah, I no longer smoke. The
God.
thing is,
If you do smoke, although we don't recommend it, please don't smoke here. You can do it up there.
outside, we cannot do it here on the
the
fields,
stadium.
on the stadium. It's forbidden. Please do not smoke here. Another thing is, in your Magis packs, you have these bottles, these blue bottles that I'm holding now in my hand. Please fill them with water, the tap water all around Łódź, all around the campus is drinkable. Fill them with water, bring it with you guys to the celebrations, to the stadiums, and drink a lot of water.
So that you have more energy, and we need this energy for the next point of our show, which will be the interview.
Yes. You can actually, guys, sit down, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home.
Enough of this jumping.
Right. Enough is enough, at least for some time. Be prepared for more. But now, while sitting, we want to give a special welcoming to the provincial, Father Jakub, and to the assistant of the Father General, Tomasz Kot, and we will give him our Magis mark. Oh!
Magis cheer. Oh!
Oh! Hit it! Magis!
Woo.
Welcome.
And the first delegation, Malaysia and Singapore, is prepared to ask the question. Please come.
Beautiful. I no longer smoke. The thing is,
If you do smoke, although we don't recommend it, please
outside, we cannot do it here on the fields, on the stadium, it's forbidden. Please do not smoke here.
Good morning, everybody. Just a slight change, because as you know very well, now should be time to meet Father General, who unfortunately cannot be with us. But okay, we do not have with us General, but we have a Colonel, his Colonel, Father Assistant Tomasz Kot.
more energy.
But even before, even we start to speak, even Father Tomasz will start to speak, we have a short video recorded by him. On that video, Father General would like to say a few words to us. So please, watch now the screen, and I hope we will see Father General soon.
I went to Spain, to Brazil, and some of you might remember, and I was looking forward to meet you again in Poland. But this time I had a little fall, and the consequence is that 3 ribs are not in order, and the doctor told me not to travel for a while. And so those I have consulted, they insist that I should take care of my health, and they seem that I can be somehow useful in the coming times, and therefore I am not going. But I would like to greet you and welcome you wholeheartedly to Europe and to the preparations of the World Youth Day. As you know, the Magis about that we will talk later, or Tomasz will explain later what I think about the questions that you send me. And in the meantime, what is important is that you come in touch with the realities of Poland, that you don't go there only as you try to do, that you get much more than just meeting the Pope. That's why the Magis program is a way of providing you with possibilities of contact with the people or in social or cultural situations, and that you are fully prepared when you meet the Pope and you come home enriched with the experience. Is not only meeting a leader of the church, good as he might be, but that you come in touch with a big country, a country like Poland that has contributed so much to the Catholic Church in many ways. So I leave you to Tomasz Kot, and he will tell you what I think about the questions you sent me. Thank you very much.
Even later. Listen, now we are going to spend very serious 1 hour, so you can see we are nicely dressed up. So it is going to be very serious now, 1 hour. When we got the news that Father General is sick and he's not going to come to Poland, we got that news only 2 days ago, we sent him just a few questions asking to write answers just for you, and he did so. So now with Father Tomasz, we are going to read this for you. We're going to play, we're going to act. I'm going to play a journalist, and Father Tomasz is going to play Father General.
It will be a good Jesuit tradition of theater.
I think to be a journalist is much easier than to be a Father General, but you will see later. Okay, so please concentrate now and please focus on this very deep stuff. The first question we asked Father...
One thing, okay. So the answers are the answers of Father General. Every time I will say I, it is not about me, it is I of Father General, okay?
And don't connect this I with our general congregation, which is going to be very soon. We are going to choose a new Father General. The first question, we ask a few questions about in different subjects. Be Magis. The first question is, we are taking part in Magis. The name, like many Ignatian words, might sound mysterious to some people. How do you, Father General, understand Magis?
I understand Magis as an ongoing invitation to grow with which was a concept dear to St. Ignatius. No matter what we do, we can always grow and do more. Naturally, Magis is not more money, more wealth, more fame, more anything of this perishing world. It is more of the gospel, more compassion, more humanity, more Jesus in our living.
What is your experience of being Magis?
I have experienced Magis every time I met someone better than myself, which is not very difficult to tell the truth. And especially meeting the Japanese people and finding out that Japanese culture has many things to teach Europe, America, and the rest of the world. But the question is about my own being Magis, my own growing. But since the measure of our growing is Christ, I can hardly answer. I must leave you in suspense.
What people or experiences inspired you when you were younger?
Well, many people inspired me. Most of all, when I got to know the kind of struggles and difficulties they had to face and solve. Many people carry heavy burdens, but they do so with courage, hope, and joy. No person grows without difficulties, and even a limited awareness of those makes you admire the people you have around, your parents, your teachers, the lady selling fish at the market, all persons without exception.
And the next question is very personal to Father General. What inspires you now?
Now I am very inspired by you, young people, because no matter what people say about young people today, you continue fighting for a better society, acting on behalf of a more just environment, dreaming the dreams of a better world that we in our own youth dreamt. I am inspired because you are real fighters and you will be able to risk your reputation for a better life for all. And I am also inspired by the fact that until death, we can continue growing.
Now let's pass to the next section connected with something we know as be active. And the question is, our motto talks about giving. World Youth Days reminds us of mercy. Pope Francis speaks much about forgiveness. What is your experience of mercy, being merciful and receiving mercy?
The biggest experience of mercy I have ever received is myself. You know the motto of the Pope Francis, miserando atque eligendo. In English it would be, because Jesus saw him through the eyes of mercy and chose him. This is about the calling of St. Matthew's. A good motto for the majority of us humans. We are all object of this mercy. There is a human experience that permeates everything. We are always short of the goals we set in life, and yet we are loved by God and by others. And the essence of human love is the ability to love imperfect people. To love someone who is imperfect only repeats what God is doing with us. If you want a clear example of mercy, we have only to look at the mirror and see someone who receives mercy every day and who is called to share that kindness.
What challenges do you face in trying to be merciful?
The first challenge I face in being merciful is inside my head. What if he is not a real beggar? What if she is professional acting as a beggar, etc.? Such thoughts are the first challenge. Is the person facing me really worthy of mercy? Especially after living in Rome several years, that comes most naturally to mind. Rome is a beggar's paradise, tourists, churches, seminarians, you name it.
What helps you to overcome those challenges?
What helps me overcome these challenges is only the attitude of Jesus. I do not think old Jerusalem was very different from modern Rome. And Jesus had someone, we know that he was called Judas, in charge of giving away in the name of the group. In spite of everything, there are many people who really need help to survive or to feed their children. In all these cases, it helps very much to be honest about ourselves, to know who we are. And we know from St. Ignatius himself that being superior, even general or pope, does not take away our human limitations. If we are always and in everything honest and true, we will know that we continue to need mercy, and so we will be humble enough to share mercy too.
And now passing to the next section, be inspired. Our first question is, Magis is about going into depth, but the spiritual program, MAGIS2016, Mary, the Mother of God, takes us with her hand to meet Jesus. How do you pray? What is your favorite way of praying?
Prayer is a question of communion. The important thing is to be together. Any method works if it helps to be together with Jesus or with God. I still like the Ignatian method or methods, the one that helps me most in this togetherness is making myself present to the mystery narrated. It becomes so real, so true, that it moves me and invites me to change. A very good point indeed.
What about Jesus most deeply touches your heart?
As regards the point in Jesus that touches me most, we can speak of his generosity and his ability to be comfortable in any human company. Women, tax collectors, the adulterous woman, sinners of all kinds, Pharisees, Samaritans, and Jews, the apostles, etc. We could say today that he could have a pleasant lunch with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump alike. He can be at home with the saints as well as with us, sinners. And this is what fascinates me the most.
Who for you is the Jesus world to be followed?
The Jesus I am following today is hopefully the one who does never get tired of doing good. As the years weigh on your age and strength, you get tired of doing good and think sometimes of getting some profit from it, even if it is only resting and having a better life. Jesus is always ready to help, charged with all then batteries in place, and I can appreciate how much of his life is being offered.
Going on, we asked the Father General to answer a few questions on the section Be Open. And the first question is, Magis is about meeting people usually different from us. You have been general, the leader of the Jesuits for several years. You have had opportunity to see much of the world and meet different ways of thinking, praying and speaking. How do you overcome the challenges that might occur when you're meeting others?
You are right in thinking the most of my work has been dealing with people. I have to admit that the biggest source of consolation for me are people. And the biggest source of desolation and worry are also people. There is no doubt that people are a great mystery, and the same persons are capable of great sanctity and of great felonies. The same person, and therefore all of you. That can help us in our reality and humility, because as long as we know that we are capable of bad things, we cannot consider ourselves better than anybody else and judge others as the gospel tells us.
What has helped you?
Two factors have helped me very much in my life. One was a saying of a Japanese bishop, Bishop Hamao. When asked why more Japanese do not become Christian, he used to answer, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Most of the religions and spiritualities of Asia are religions of the way. But most of the missionaries who are Western came speaking to the truth, so we hardly met. Now I am traveling a lot, and I am convinced that the bishop was right. Asia focuses on the way. People in Europe and USA cultivate the truth, and people of Africa and Latin America celebrate life and its values, values that we have forgotten in other continents. In this sense, we need the whole world for the fullness of Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. That is, World Youth Day and Magis are so important. And the second fact that helps me in the experience of Asia in general and Japan in concrete, I went to Japan young and not yet mature as you are. And I found a society in many ways far more mature, that compassionate and sharing than the Europe or Spain I had left behind. I saw that Asia had a history of wisdom. Confucius, Mencius, Lao Tzu, Buddha, the mystics of the Upanishads, that had touched the life and the behavior of Asian people. And I began to thank God for what He had done in the hearts of Asians. And then I realized that when people in Israel lost their faith after the exile, prophets disappeared and a new language came forth, the language of wisdom that can speak of God in new ways and touch the hearts. We know that in many places today people don't deny God's existence. They just don't care. They don't search for God. But everyone searches for meanings in life. There is much information, but very little wisdom. So in offering wisdom and meaning, we can help people discover God. That helped me very much to open, not only to other persons as carriers of wisdom, but also to other ways of thinking, praying, and speaking. No one has a monopoly of wisdom.
And the last very personal question to Father General, how do you meet Jesus in those differences?
This question is very demanding. How do I meet Jesus in differences? First, by realizing that the other person is also Jesus, and that his wisdom is a gift he has received for all of us. Never closing ourselves to the wisdom that comes from others is one way of being open to Christ. Second, there is a tradition that identifies Jesus with wisdom and sees in him the presence and incarnation of the wisdom. Many times, Jesus hides in the wisdom of others, of those who are different from us. So, if we don't listen to their wisdom, we run the risk of rejecting Jesus. Are we going to reject him because he hides in the wisdom of others? There are many other reasons that can make the Christian a person always open to wisdom. The Pope told the Jesuits, when they celebrated 200 years of restoration of the order after a suppression, that the Jesuit was a man of the incomplete, open thinking. First, because God is a mystery, and will continue so no matter how many books the theologians write. And second, reality keeps changing, and so does human life. A Christian cannot be close to this changing reality.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That is all from Father General. Prepared for us in advance. And now we had the choice thinking about what to do next. And the one possibility was to give you a long lecture about heavy theology. And we choose to not do so. Maybe I'm wrong. But now we are going to ask some questions to Father Tomasz, as the assistant of Father General, but he thinks the same way of Father General, so we can imagine that the half of his answers are just the same like Father General.
But this time when I will say I, it means me.
Yeah, that's you. That's certainly you. When I say it's always me. So we are not going to play now, but we are going to be natural. Anyway, if as you see around, the most of us we speak English language as the second, third, or even worse. So if you see that your neighbor has any difficulty to understand what we are speaking about, please help him or help her. That's okay. But let's go to the business. I think someone from Poland should ask the first question because we are in Poland. This big applause. Okay.
Okay, hello. So my question.
Hello. Can you tell us
My
your
name is
name?
Aneta.
Thank you.
When I was a child, I thought that missions are only for nuns or fathers, but now I see that more and more lay people get involved in missionary activity. So, what do you think? How their missionary experience can influence on our faith, our outlook, our thinking? Why is it so important to involve just lay people?
Thank you very much for this question. I think that all the church is missionary, and the church, it means there are people that have different functions, different services inside the community, and also it is very important for any evangelization that all groups, all members of the church are involved. So I think the place of the lay people for missions are really natural, and I'm happy that now it is quite usual and quite normal. I think it's not so easy for people who have families. For religious it's much more easier, but it is very demanding for people who have families, children, and okay. I think you should ask maybe during this your time, your experiments, if among you are people who experience to be a missionary as lay people. But I would like, and they would give you a better answer, because I am religious. I could act a lay person, because now I am quite skilled to act after representing Father General. But I think it's better if you find a real witness. But I would add one point more. When we speak about missions, especially in Europe, we think about going to other continents. But the mission is everywhere. It's not only when you are in a foreigner country. You are a missionary everywhere, even if in your family. And this is very important. And I would like that all of you are aware of this. Thank you very much, Annette.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think we all are on missions, and the church must be missionary, otherwise will not exist. Anyway, Father Tomasz, he came from Rome, so I think the next question should be from Italy. Italiano.
Hi, my name is Sarah. And
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So the motto of Magis 2016 is to give and not to count the cost. And our question is, according to you, when are we able to give ourselves without expecting something in return? And under what circumstances can the gift of oneself exhaust one's spirit?
First of all, I must confess that when the treasurers of our provinces heard about this motto of Magis, they were afraid. But the motto is very evangelical. So I think it's the human nature, and that's my own experience, that even if I would like to spend without counting on something in exchange, it's not easy, because we always expect something, sometimes gratitude. It's not easy, but it is possible. And I think this is about a little bit all the stories about the seed that is dying, giving birth to something new. There is a risk, or we can be afraid, that we will be exhausted giving like this, and sometimes it stops us to give ourselves. We would like to reserve something for us, not to be really exhausted. And I think that this is the matter of faith, that you really give, not to receive back from people you are giving to, but you will receive something from God. And my experience is that sometimes you may be really surprised what you receive back from people you offer something. It is really much more you can really you could expect. What is difficult, that sometimes it is given in the different way you expect it, and sometimes we need a lot of time to realize that we are really offered, we received a lot giving, but only this giving that doesn't expect that you will receive something back is a real giving and will be rewarded, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
That is very interesting that in the gospel, Jesus never asked the question, how much?
Yeah, but it is clear, everything.
Okay,
You don't count.
yeah, okay. Judah, he asked how much?
That is,
let's
just to add, there is beautiful scene in the gospel. You know, the woman who broke a small
small coins.
oil, yeah, not the oil,
Coin.
the oil, the perfume. And there was some apostle who was saying, "Oh, it's not good. It should be sold, and the money should be distributed to the poor." And Jesus said that this woman did a very good thing, and it will be announced every time the gospel will be announced. And I think she broke the glass. I don't, what was the vase or something like this, and all the very, very expensive perfume was spent. And for me, this is the image of giving without counting. Okay.
So the word generosity is very important, and we will start with this evangelization of generosity from our treasurers. Let us move far away. Cambodia. Big applause to Cambodia.
Father.
Hello. You tell us your name, please.
My name Chanda from Cambodia. Our question is, what do Jesuits expect from Magis and values their participants when we return back home?
I will tell you when I will deliver my homily. Now, I think that the liturgy we will have today, the liturgy give us 2 words, and I think it would be a good program that these 2 words that are given this very day will be a kind of program for you. It will be also my wish for you that you bring back to home. But as I prepared it for a homily, I wouldn't like to deliver it now, because what I'm going to say during the Mass. So I think you understand my answer. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Father.
That was very short and too short, but we hope the homily will be long enough. If there is anyone from Australia, excellent. There is a very far, remote country of Australia.
Hello, Father.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Patrick.
Patrick. Nice to meet you, Patrick.
So our question was, do you have any advice for young people who are struggling to maintain a strong or a positive Catholic identity in a world where it's increasingly secular and aggressively secular?
Mm-hmm. A very difficult question. But I would say sometimes when we are circled by...
Surrounded?
Surrounded, okay, thank you very much. Have a native speaker in front of me, it's better. Well, when we are surrounded by a secular world, sometimes we are struggling to set the external signs of our identity. It is important, of course, not to hide our identity. But I believe much more that it is not about the external signs. It is much more about how you behave, what are your choices, what you are doing, and it is not necessary to be, religious stuff. If you are really human, and if you are a person that really brings something new or give hope, I think people are going to question you, why do you do this? And then you can tell them your story, your faith. And I would say this is the most important. I know how hard it is sometimes to be in such a world. I know the external signs are important, but I think there is a real danger if we focus on these signs, external signs. It is better not to set them, and it is better to bring with you what you are. And the second thing I would say, keep in touch with other young people as you do here in Magis program. To feel that you are not alone. I think it's important experience that you can see people from so many countries, from so many contexts, and what you have in common is your faith. I think it's all I can say now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. As we can see, the Patricks are not only in Ireland, but also in Australia. Is anyone from our neighbor country of Slovakia? Excellent.
Strong supporters.
Hello, Father.
Hello.
My question is...
Your name?
Michael.
Michael, okay. Hi, Michael.
My question is, how can we as young people and young Christians answer the hatred against religious or national minorities, which is present in today's world more as a few years ago?
Mhm. Heavy questions. How to answer? Okay. Well, first of all, I would say that sometimes people don't like religious stuff because for them it is connected to violence, to kind of separation, even terrorism. And I don't mean only what we can experience with the terrorist attacks, but for many people, religion means not good experience. And I would say the best answer to this is to work to change this perception of religions. So that could be a very good point for interreligious dialogue. We usually started to talk about the common points, what we have in common, but I think now the people of every religion that are really people of faith should struggle to show the real face of their own religion. Because what really afraid people is not what the religions are, but what some people that claim to be religious present outside. I think that this is the way. I don't know if I answered your question, but...
Yes. Maybe also, how can we as Christians answer the hatred against other religious minorities of other religion, for example, against Muslims?
You mean to keep a good relationship with Muslims?
Yes.
The best thing is to try to know people who are Muslims, believing Muslims, and to know how they can live their religion. Because I think they are very different. And what we really can perceive if we do not do any effort is the information that come from media. And I think it's not really all the truth about what they are. And you can experience that sometimes we Christians are presented in TV news and TV shows in a way that you can't identify with this. I would say that many Muslims can't identify themselves even with people who are committing terrorist acts. And I think it would be really helpful to talk with them, to know them, to discover them. Okay? Yes. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
The next country in my mind is Spain. So, it's quite good support.
Hi, my name is Teresa.
Hola, Teresa.
Hola. So we all have moments when we don't feel as close as we would like to God. Sorry. And so my question will be, what helps you when you are on a difficult moment of faith?
I would say the memory. The memory means that you remind the moments you discover God in your life. This is very biblical. You probably remember in a prophets there is very often remember how God made a big deed for you, how He led you out from Egypt and so on. It is anamnesis in Greek. It's you work your memory. It is very easy when you are in a difficult situation to forget about all this and to be so closed in your little world of suffering and sorrow and very difficult situation that even if he is here, you can't really experience him. And I would say this is very, very good thing. You remember the parable of talents. The servant, the third one, who couldn't earn money, he did not anamnesis. He didn't say, you gave me, I do this. He was saying, I know you are like this and like this. This is strange theology we are doing in a difficult moment. The two servants who really succeeded, they did a kind of recollection. You gave me, I did it. It is true, sometimes you don't experience the presence of God. Myself, I should confess, sometimes I'm sitting to pray and nothing. But then you have to keep your eyes widely open, because I receive a lot outside of prayer. And it is also a good advice. God give you your presence not only during the prayers, and sometimes much more out of the prayer than during the prayer. Really be attentive to this. I think all I can say, Teresa.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, certainly the easiest time is when God is speaking, we are speaking, everyone is speaking, and we have a Magis experience. Sometimes I speak.
Discern. Then.
Okay. Anyway, you are asking very difficult questions, and we are a bit short of time, and we have 5 more questions, and I think the next should be Malaysia, Singapore. Excellent, big applause. Come to us.
Morning, Father.
Good morning. Trevor.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Trevor. Since everyone's been asking serious questions, I thought I'd ask a serious one as well. What is your funniest moment of Father General? Your funniest moment of Father General?
But I missed
funniest, so funniest. Yeah.
With Father General.
With Father General.
Before I was called to Rome to be assistant, I was appointed provincial of the province on the territory you are now, the Northern Poland province. And I was a little bit surprised. So for the first time when I met Father General, I told him that it must have been a mistake. And Father General looked at me and started to smile, but I like this mistake.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, I can see the nice flag of Portugal. Please. A big country of Portugal.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Luisa.
Luisa.
And Portugal would like to ask you if, now that the Pope is also a Jesuit, has the relationship between the Pope and the Father General changed? And if you think that the fact that the Pope also follows the Ignatian spirituality, if you think that can change the way the Church lives its faith?
Okay, I would say that for many Jesuits, when we got to know that the Pope, elected Pope, is a Jesuit, we were a little bit afraid. Sometimes it's easier if you are far from Rome, and it's not easy when the Pope is a Jesuit. But, okay, I can tell that the relationship is very, very good, and between Father General and the Pope. You know that Pope sometimes, in a very informal way, visits General Curia, and he's doing this, surprising his bodyguards and everything you can imagine. If the fact that he is a Jesuit can contribute something to the church, I think yes, and I could quote what he said once himself. There was a group of Jesuits from Spain, I think, that was celebrating their 25th anniversary of being ordered priests, and they during an audience they presented to themselves to the Pope, and it was just after the document about that ended the synod on family was published, and when the Pope got to know that these guys were Jesuits, he told them, "Oh, I count a lot on you, because the church needs to learn discernment, how to discern, and you can help the church in this way." So I think it was from his Jesuit experience well, the discernment is something very important for our spirituality, for Ignatian spirituality, so for our common spirituality, and he is very, very aware about it. And I think this is the way he's contributed to the church. And in the difficult situation, he's not saying it's like this, but he's saying, let's discern. That's different. Thank you,
Thank you
Luisa.
very much.
Now I would like to invite someone from a very small but beautiful country of Slovenia.
Hello, I'm Alinka.
Hello,
And
Alinka.
We have
Alenka.
a more personal question for you. We were wondering if you can share with us an experience which brought you closer to God, especially if it's from the same age as we are now, because we think that can enrich us. So if you can.
The experience of God from my childhood.
Your youth more.
More youth, okay. Well, let's say that a Jesuit has a long formation, and then we say something about the experience of being young priest. It's okay?
Yes.
I was then 30 about.
Okay.
Okay?
I think some of
accepted.
people here are 30. So.
I would say okay, I don't know if it helps you, because if you are not a priest, but I think that a very similar experience you can have even if you are not priests. It was the first year after I was ordained, and I remember it was in Italy. I was supplying to a parish priest in Pescara, and there was a confession, a young lady. It was a question of abortion, something like this. Really hard stuff. But I would say I was not really needed. I could give only the absolution. And I was a witness, really, of a great sin, but really of the conversion, of the love of this woman. And I think it's for me, the things that really make me to be close to God, it's to experience how God helped people. And I would say this woman, for me, it's the most beautiful woman in the world I never met. And I'm not talking about her physical beauty. I don't remember even her face. But I remember how beautiful she was, because she met God, and God made big things in her life. this for even I can't forget this. And I think if you look very well in your life, you can find people, your experience, how they were, you were witness how God worked in their life. And I think if it is a really authentic experience, it touches you so deeply that you can't forget it. And once again, keep it in memory. It helps a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You, Father Tomasz, a little escaped from the question, but being in the same in the spirit of that question, I would like to ask you: was it easier to experience God in your childhood or now?
Much more now, because I learned a lot of things about the religious language. When I was a child, I couldn't understand the language of some Christian groups when people were saying that Jesus told me. And to be honest, I should always say, Jesus doesn't speak to me. And I needed a lot of time to understand that God speaks to us in a very different way. And I discovered it quite lately.
Okay, if you answer that now, it's good news for all of us because we are getting older. Taiwan, come here.
Hello, Father Thomas.
Hello. Please tell us your name.
My name is Shi Haoshen. It's Chinese
Haoshen.
name, and my English name is Hudson. 大家早. It's.
Can you repeat it?
大家早. It's good morning in Chinese. So, I want to ask about because the society of Jesuits is very large, it's global, and I want to know how do you lead all these Jesuits? How, because it's so big and so many fathers, so many, yeah. That's my question.
Yeah, it is really a big deal. There is a joke. There is a joke about the obedience and the Jesuits, that the secret of governing Jesuits is to know what each of them wants to do, and to give them as a mission. The problem is only with those who don't know what to do. So we make them superiors. It was a joke, of course, but I would say the big deal for us, the challenge, is that we are in so different circumstances, from so different cultures, and I think that the answer to this question is in a text very important for the society, which is called The Liberation of the First Fathers. It was when the companions of St. Ignatius were not Jesuits. The society didn't exist at that time, and they wanted to offer themselves for the Pope to be sent all over the world, and they wonder if it is better to be single men sent everywhere or to be together. And they started to discern. And what they discovered during this discernment was this, that it is not a question for them to be together or to be alone, because God made friends of them. So it is a gift received from God that they are the friends in the Lord. And that was the expression very important from St. Ignatius. So it is not about that we are making the unity. We have to discover, to let us lead by God, and to discover how He put the unity. What we are doing, we are administrating this, but it is really, and I believe it, this is the work of God. and it depends on non-Jesuit or on every Jesuit to be really, or to really offer his life to God, and then there is no problem. Problems are when people don't let God to work themselves, to work in them life. This is the, I would say, on the spiritual level. On the most practical level, the main problem are languages. We must learn many languages. It is not only to learn English, but to learn culture, different culture in probably in Great Britain and in India that is behind this language. The words are the same. The meanings are not necessarily the same. But I think it's our human reality and the Pentecost experience that we can speak in our own languages and we can understand each other. This is the experience, and I think this is the effort we are trying to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're from Taiwan.
And the last question, we're going back to Europe. The last question is from beautiful country called Austria.
Hello, Father.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Timon from Austria.
Grüß Gott, Timon.
Yeah. A few minutes ago, the Austrian team was kind of sad because I can't wear the Austrian flag because we forgot it. But now we realize that these name cards are in red, white, and red, so it's our national color. So we are really proud and good again. So, yeah.
You can ask for 2 Polish flags, okay? And
Yeah.
you will make one Austrian flag from 2 Polish
That's a
flags.
really amazing idea. Thank you. So we have this really short but maybe not easy question for you. Which one is your favorite testament, the new one or the old one, and why?
Well, I would say none of them. In a sense, I can't separate one from the other. What I was really interested during my studies, it is the use of the Old Testament in the new one. And you know that if, for example, we use the Greek words, how it is used in the New Testament, it is not really new, but it is a kind of renew testament. So it is the only one testament in the sense that there is one covenant, but sometimes it must be renewed because we don't really fulfill this testament. So it's, I would say I can't separate. It is the one story, really one story. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Timon. It was the last question.
That was the last question. Thank you very much to everyone. We are a little short of time. Friends, all of you from Europe, you know the Ryanair Airlines. Something typical for Ryanair is that they are always landing before time. And when
You're not like them.
When they land before time, if you have on the board people from Italy or from Spain, there are always applause.
Yes, guys, so let us give them our Magis cheer. Oh!
Applause.
Hit it! Magis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paweł, it's 2 hours since I haven't got a selfie.
Yes,
I just have to do it.
We need to do it with our assistants.
Let's have a selfie. Woo!
Beautiful.
We're gonna hashtag with
Guys, we remind you of doing selfies, of doing lots of things, doing films, post it with hashtag #BeMagis. We remind you that all the event is being live streamed, so you can tell all your friends, your families.
You can say hi to Mama.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay, now, guys, we have a few announcements for you. At 11:30, we're going to have a Holy Mass here. So all the stalls for the priests are on my right and on your left, over here. So you are asked to go there, collect it. All the priests are asked to celebrate the Mass. And